Hi, John Hinn with the Pulsing Cinema here, and the movie of the day is Beauty and the Beast. The 1946 French adaptation of Beauty and the Beast, directed by Jean Cocteau, and starring Jean Moret as the Beast, and Josette Day as Belle, the Beauty. A good film, not a film that a black and white French film with subtitles. Not a film that you think about watching every day, or maybe some people do, but a real classic fantasy film, and just for its age, a beautiful film, and a film that you can tell was the inspiration, the archetype for fantasy film up until today. You can definitely see strains of Legend, Labyrinth, any kind of very light fantasy film within Beauty and the Beast. A great work, an admirable work, and you can also tell that the conception of the Beast in this film was totally the inspiration for pretty much the way we see the Beast character in modern times, all the way up until Disney's Beauty and the Beast. You can look at Disney's Beauty and the Beast and the makeup in the 1946 film. This beast, this lion type of monster character. It's totally the inspiration for Disney's Beast, the way it looks, and the regalness of it. So the Beast in this film lives in this magical castle in the woods, and this poor man, he picks a rose in the Beast's garden, and the Beast sentences him to death. But the man can cheat death by trading one of his daughters, Belle, for his life. So the daughter, becomes kind of forced into forced servitude with the Beast, and there begins to become, of course, a relationship with the Beast. And at the end, there is this pact, because she gets lonely and she wants to visit her family. There is this pact with the Beast that she will leave, but then return within a week, or if she does not return, that the Beast will die. So a fairy tale, but done by Cocteau, who was a French filmmaker, experimental filmmaker in these very highly unusual films that didn't rely on plot, very much a contemporary of Salvador Dali, and that type of very avant-garde stuff of the 30s and 40s that European filmmakers were getting into. And it's very interesting to see like a European avant-garde filmmaker take on basically a children's fairy tale, because he uses the technique of an avant-garde filmmaker in order to portray the magical domain of the Beast, which is very interesting. It was full of overcranked, slow motion stuff. There are all, when the Beast's castle, there are all these hands and walls and statues with faces that look at people, and very, very strange and moody stuff, and the type of stuff that you'd see in Cocteau's work, like Blood of a Poet. But within this context, it's very something very odd. I mean, you can definitely trace the lineage to something like in Labyrinth, all the way up to the hands and the weird backwards photography here, and the candles that light themselves, and all of this magical domain. That the domain of the Beast in this 1946 film is obviously more kind of influenced by magic, and there's obviously these kind of spells and things and incantations that are giving the Beast his power, which has kind of been toned down kind of in recent films. And because I think people might be, there's the, the religious right that might get a little bit uncomfortable with something like in this film where the Beast wearing these capes that have all of these kind of magical arcane symbols traced on them. But I mean, the makeup in this, I mean, for 1946, man, I mean, it was a low budget film. I mean, it was a post World War II film. It was one of the first films made in France after World War II. Very controversial because the director Cocteau did not leave France. He lived in occupied France, and there was some allegations of collaboration with the occupying German forces. So there was that. I think as the opening speech, because I saw this film theatrically, and there was just a little opening talk, the intro. I think it's the intro that I heard stated. I think Cocteau saw himself as kind of apolitical and outside of that. But at the same time, I think that was definitely a criticism of this film when it was released. And definitely when it was released, I think as being kind of a light kind of children's fare, a children's fairy tale. And even the opening, there's the opening title cards, which written, presumably in the director's own hand, which beg the audience to think back like a child and give us the Once Upon a Time intro to the film, which is very interesting, very 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 nice, a very nice way to open the film, and the makeup is incredible. I mean, this is a low budget film post World War II. They couldn't shoot it in color. They couldn't get the film. There was definitely restrictions on film stock and had to be done in black and white. But I think, thank God, it's done in black and white because there is a kind of a classic magic to the proceedings. The fact that it is black and white, and the Beast's makeup is just, it's so incredible. It's just like in this modern day of CGI and appliances, the makeup goes all the way up to his eyelids, and it just looks quite striking, quite incredible. The Beast also plays the dual role of Evenol, who is kind of the Belle's suitor, but Belle rejects Evenol because she has to be the poorer of the three sisters who works and slaves away for the other two sisters, and so a great kind of, again, a fairy tale dynamic of the sister who is forced into taking care of the family, and her sense of sacrifice and how that's rewarded in the fairy tale, which is a fairy tale, of course, but we can all watch it and love it. So yeah, I mean, such a French film, a fairy tale film, a black and white film, but obviously a classic which has touched many people's lives and influenced so many other artists and filmmakers over the years, and it has just a kind of that surrealist feel from the from the avant-garde director. It'll be interesting to see a modern avant-garde director do like a fairy tale. Say like David Lynch imagine David Lynch doing a fairy tale. That would be kind of scary. That would probably scare children, but but in any case, we have a classic example of that. Beauty and the Beast. Wow, great movie, great film.